Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the Lab Live PM segment. It's 2 p.m. on Wednesday, April 8th. My name is Bray. I'll be taking you along with me for this afternoon session here. How you guys doing? Everybody doing okay? Everybody still got their accounts? Everybody still got their spirits? How we feeling? How the heck are we feeling? Let's move this over here. Everyone can hear me okay? Good afternoon, Zaza. Mic check, mic check. Everyone has got me. Give me a 1 if you can hear me. Just making sure. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Okie dokie. We got a lot going on. Loud and clear. Perfect. 1111. Nice. Okay. Mr. Millet Man, how are you doing? I'm doing good. But I want to know how you're doing, my boy. So we've got some interesting PA among us, do we not? We can talk a little bit about it. I'm not too certain what the PM session will bring. As with the most PM sessions lately, it hasn't been the most exciting. Um, but we'll see. We'll talk about a potential setup or a setup that we could have taken in the AM session. We'll talk about a valid setup as per my model. And we'll talk a little bit about grading setups, talk about the political or rather geopolitical backdrop that we have and my thoughts on it, get your thoughts on it, and we can have a good discussion and, a good little education lesson as well. Just kind of, if anyone has questions, you can feel free to ask. So it'll be a little mix of everything. I find the PM sessions go a lot smoother if we just kind of, chat about whatever's on our minds and we can go to some questions and answer some questions and learn a thing or two about a thing or two, and hopefully get some good PA as well to talk about. Bray, I've been thinking, how jacked are you under that sweater? Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy? Wouldn't you like to know? I probably look like a string bean. Okay, now that I've got a few of you in here, now that I've got the hook set and you guys are fully engaged, I hope, let's talk a little bit about this morning. Okay, so this morning, going into the New York AM session, we were coming off of a massive already 750-point move that was just a little over 3% off the daily open upon some Iran US ceasefire agreements. At 9:30, what ended up happening is, rather just prior to 9:30, what ended up happening was we had some SMT at the previous hourly high with ES and YM. This 8 a.m. candle ran up, took this liquidity, and created previous hourly high SMT with YM and ES, previous hourly high being right hither. So off of that, we actually confirmed a 15-minute breaker block once we closed below this right here low. So on this 8:15 candle, we confirmed that breaker. Okay. So we had previous hourly high SMT, breaker block confirmation. That's a valid short. It is, we'll say, lower quality I won't say lower probability, but we'll say low quality, just given the fact that the only SMT we had was with short-term SMT at a previous hourly high. But given the backdrop of, we have this massive expansion higher, we have a ton to rebalance lower. We have some nice projections off of midnight open with -2 of the 15-minute breaker lining up with midnight open. Midnight open has very little manipulation below it. This, that, and the other. -4 is also at Asia session low. So we have really solid projections. This is what you want to see. Here's a little tip with standard deviations. With standard deviations, you want them to line up with key levels or points of interest, right? Being key opening times like midnight or key liquidity pools such as Asia low or a session liquidity, right? Or a daily high or low. If they line up with that, that's just more fuel for the fire, okay? So shorts are valid off of that. You retrace into it, you could already be in. You get some more SMT. So you've got NQ sweeping the high, and then you have ES, or rather you have YM taking the high and NQ failing. So you kind of have that SMT where it sweeps and then fails. That's another added confluence. And then 930 delivers us lower down into the Asia low. So that would have been the play from today. I did not participate because I was getting home from work, and I try my best not to start my day in the markets rushed, because I know what happens when I show up to the market and I feel rushed. I make irrational decisions, obviously, because I'm rushed. So you never want to feel rushed. You want to feel in control. You want to feel calm and, kind of controlled and in your own kind of element. So if you're showing up and scrambling the moment you get to the markets, like I was laying in bed after work, got home, was just laying in bed for 10 minutes before I hopped in the shop. When this candle started printing, I was like, I have no business. I have no business trading this, even though I have a very good idea that this is my model and it's likely to deliver to midnight and Asia low. It's okay. You have to miss setup sometimes. If you're not ready, if you're not primed and fit for duty, you shouldn't be trading, right? It's a hard pill to swallow. It's hard missing setups, but the more that you just stick to your plan and don't pander away or outside of that perimeter, the easier it becomes to miss a setup like this when you're not ready to take it. So, and that could sound like cope, probably is, but I am more than okay missing a move that I was not ready for in the first place. Are you working nights? Yeah, 24-hour shifts. So the nights are just included. The nights are just included. So from there, we had some Asia low SMT. No breaker to the no breaker confirmed on the 15-minute here. Just kind of have a V shape recovery, and we've seen us now retrace back up into the hourly for value gap, back into an hourly breaker actually, and we have some lunch high and lunch low SMT. So we're kind of just chopping about. So we'll see what shakes out for the PM session here. The 4-hour candle we should keep note of did form a very large rejection, forming a swing on the bullish side, but it is not accompanied by any sort of 15-minute bullish breaker. So it's kind of a fade for me. Longs off of this low would have been valid on the short term. Meaning you could take it off of this 1-minute breaker, which takes you back up into the 8:30 and 9:30 opens. But that's for you to decide if you want to do that. That's not my thing personally, but it's not my thing. But hey, how'd you guys do today? Any setups that you took? Anything work? Anything not work? What's up, y'all? What's up, Team GXT? Our favorite Canadian is back live. Yes, sir, Bradley. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, I just need to check something. Just need to check something. Yeah, how'd you guys do? It's FOMC now. FOMC meeting minutes. So if you care about that, it's totally different than FOMC, the big one, the rate decision. This is just the minutes from the last meeting. It's not at all important to me. It's actually my least favorite news event. I don't even know why it's a news event. Um, Hard day. Didn't trade much, size down, but the trades I did take, nothing going smooth. Yeah, that's I'm not surprised that you're running into a little bit of chop or a little bit of resistance, but yeah, it's a good day to sit back, let the market kind of come to you. If things aren't clear, then don't touch it. No one's forcing you to push that button. But I think there was only one valid short or one valid trade for me personally. But yeah, everything else would have been scalps. And I'm not really big on scalps in the AM. What do you think about following the trend of the first 15-minute candle of the New York AM Open today? It was a bit funny because the stop loss would be huge, but I have strong suspicion that it's very regularly a win. There's some stats behind that, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure Edgeful has some data on the first 30 minutes of the New York Open. Whatever direction that candle closes typically sets the direction for the day, like an absurd amount of the time. It would just be an OR strat. A lot of traders use it. You can use it for bias. I personally don't. I don't like the word bias. I kind of think bias can change, and the market should show you what it wants to do. So I kind of remain fluid with quote unquote bias. I don't really use the term bias. Narrative is kind of what I like. Bias is an emotion in my experience, and that emotion can get you in a lot of hot water. But if you find something, if you have data that suggests that it works and you can find a strat on it, then shit, man, go nuts. Eat your heart out. What do you think about having different strategies so you can trade every day and with a 1-to-1 RR with high win rate? Um, that's up to you, boss. I don't really care to trade every day. I don't need to trade every day. I think that's part of the problem for a lot of people is they think that they do need to trade every day. But there is something to be said about adapting to market conditions, whether that be through changing your setup or changing your framework, um, or changing your frequency or whatever, to adapt to certain market conditions. There's something to be said about that. I think that's an important skill or important thing that traders have to do. Let's see here. We got something going on. Okay, yeah, we got this lunch high SMT. Nothing for me to do, but I wouldn't be surprised to see us continue lower off of this personally. Oh, you don't have to delete your questions, bro. Kane, I don't know if Kane switched to 1-to-1. You'd have to ask him. This is dumping. What news is coming out? What the fuck is this? I didn't even get to finish talking about what I think's gonna happen. Financial juice. No, not there. What am I on fucking dial-up internet? There we go. You just have to complain about it. Sign in. I always click remember me, but it never remembers me. Enhancing. Enhancing. Oh my god. This is slow. Just have to know different strats will get different info and potentially conflicting info. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a thing. If you commit to one model, you have to commit to that model. And if you have multiple models for multiple different market profiles, then you have to adapt and you have to commit. That's the hard part. Don't see any news? Not yet. That would not, it's not a, oh, here we go. Iran's parliament speaker. In such a situation, a bilateral ceasefire negotiations is unreasonable. Oh, there we go. Okay. So here's here's my take. Now, I hope you guys don't mind me getting a little macro fundamental on you. Okay. I think this ceasefire is bullshit. I think it's bullshit because um, one, it was put together very rapidly. Um, there actually wasn't really any true negotiations going on. It was more or less them scrambling to stop the impending strike that was to occur at 8 p.m. last night. Number two, US gets absolutely nothing from this if the ceasefire happens. This is an embarrassment for Trump if this goes through in the way that Iran wants it to. Iran remains in control of the strait. Iran actually gets to start charging $1 per barrel or 2 million per ship typically for safe passage through or safe one-way passage through the strait. Iran gets to keep their enrichment processes for their uranium, which puts at risk further nuclear weapon building, which that's all up in the air too. Um, what else? U.S. want full U.S. retreat or full U.S. Cooperation in stopping stopping like bases in the Middle East. So they want U.S. presence gone. Um, they're framing it as a win, which is bullshit. It's absolutely sad if you read some of the administration's posts, like Carolyn Levitt. She sounds like an absolute knucklehead with some of the words that she's saying. I don't know how anyone believes it. And you have since last the ceasefire was put on or was agreed upon last night, and there have been multiple breaches of said ceasefire agreement already. Israel wasn't briefed. Israel doesn't agree with it. They also are just saying now that Lebanon all of a sudden is now not off limits, and they are going to continue striking Lebanon. Um, Trump mentioned that he is not going to allow them to carry on with their enrichment processes of uranium. So it's just a ton of things up in the air, and there's really nothing has been accomplished here. The only thing that was accomplished is that the strait has been reopened, which it was closed in the first place because of this whole fiasco. So, kind of pointless. They will say that there was a point to it, and they'll say that regime is over and they've decimated their military. And uh, if I may speak so boldly, I think it's all a fucking crock of shit. But doesn't matter what I think. Um, the markets will tell us what's going on here. So this massive response higher was kind of the telltale sign, right? This was simply just a 2 week ceasefire agreement. This wasn't the end of the war. This wasn't anything. This was just buying time. Okay. So with them buying that time, does that really warrant a 3% gain overnight? Seems a little dramatic, not? Also, look at how the monthly closed. Monthly closed bearish. Now we're just retracing back up into the this monthly gap here, or this monthly volume imbalance. Look at how the 3 month closed bearish as well. It's not really a swing. Just feels off. I don't know. If we want to buy higher from here, hey, I'm not opposed. I will gladly admit that I'm wrong. I'm not going crazy with wanting to sell this or wanting to buy oil or anything. I'm lightly in on oil calls from today um, that expire in 2.5, 3 weeks. That's pretty much it. I'm not really positioned in any other way. I'm positioned in my long term portfolio. I've been buying down here. I've been buying down here. So if it continues to go up, I will gladly eat crow and accept the pump because there's no point to me just feeling a certain way about something and being hard headed. But a lot of things do just seem fishy for me. Um, Look like U.S. wants to disengage of this war and let Israel do a war by themselves. Yeah, but that's not going to happen. They're going to want Israel's going to do whatever they can to get U.S.'s help. Can you just tell the hit by yourself? Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. Also have previous weekly high SMT at the moment. Going to pair previous weekly low. Does make sense, but we are coming off that monthly busy, so who knows? Yeah. Previous weekly high SMT. Are you sure? I don't think so, bro. There's no previous weekly high SMT. There was yesterday. But yeah, this just seems like a rapid. Yeah, it was a race. Oh, it was no, it was a race last night. It was a race last night. Because I shorted yesterday. Or sorry, was it yesterday? Can't I remember? Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. Why can't I remember? Why can't I remember where my short was? It was during the Asia session. It wasn't yesterday. Oh, it must have been. It was Monday. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Why can't I remember? The chart looks different to me. It was Monday. Okay. I'm tripping because it was Monday, but it was technically in Tuesday's candle. Okay. Yeah, like this short here, we had previous weekly high SMT here on this candle. And then we had this really nice short nested with daily open. That's what it was. I was lost for a moment. Shorting that down to the PM low. That was nice. That was probably my favorite trade of the week so far. I haven't been involved with much else. So, yeah, I'm actually looking for this to get faded personally. They might drag shit out throughout the week here, but maybe over the weekend, maybe those Iran negotiations don't go so well in Pakistan. Um, and maybe this was all just manipulation for the quarter or the month, and we're due for more. I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to anything. We've deleted lunch low SMT. We have previous hourly low SMT with YM now. Not much to do though. That retracement into that hourly breaker is nice. And where does the I should actually draw those projections. -4. I bet you that takes you right to EQ. Yep. I fear if we get some very bearish news, like ceasefire agreement ending with Iran pulling out of it because Israel can't keep it in their pants with missiles, or some sort of negative rhetoric along those lines. If we get down and we have some bearish news and we get below this AM low, things can get pretty crazy on this left side because we have a ton of inefficiency in here. And if we have bearish news to carry us through here, we can melt through all of this because there's a lot of buying up here, not a lot of selling. So if we rebalance all this, this can be a pretty quick move because the left side mirrors the right, or the right side mirrors the left, either or. Take a look at oil. Oil's just been consolidating. GC. Hmm. This looks like a retracement on GC more than anything. Bitcoin still stuck. I don't think Bitcoin's going higher yet. I think Bitcoin has more room to drop down to these lows below 60K. Maybe down to like, wait, where's the yearly open? January 1st. -4 of the yearly open, or the yearly open to high, takes you down to 49K, which is kind of where I want to see. This is where I'd be max buying down here for long term. Um, yeah. Here's a more refined and more detailed piece of info on the whole news that caused this 215 candle to do that. Iran Speaker of the Parliament releases a statement claiming that 3 clauses of their 10-point proposal have been violated by the US and Israel. Parliament Speaker Galibaf says the first clause of the 10-point proposal has been violated regarding a ceasefire in Lebanon. Number 2, the entry of a drone into Iranian airspace was a clear violation of the clause prohibiting any further violation of Iran's airspace. Number 3, the U.S. denial of Iran's rights to enrichment is a violation which was included in the 6th clause of the framework. Now, the very workable basis on which to negotiate has been openly and clearly violated even before the negotiation began, he says. So, take it for what it is. I think it's a lot of half truths and a lot of just, a lot of BS. Another angle could be maybe Trump is looking for a reason to invade Iran. And maybe it's Iran pulling out of the ceasefire agreement, which gives him reason to join or to get boots on the ground there. Who knows? All I know is that there's a very clear, direct miscommunication between US and Israel and Iran. Israel wants to keep fighting. US wants to kick the can down the road, and Iran just wants to maintain power of the strait. So how you come to an agreement between all three when the relationships between all three are very complex is beyond me. But I'm sure we'll find out eventually, won't we? These are interesting times. It's it's been it hasn't been fun to obviously see it and be living through a very dark unpredictable time like this, but it has been teaching me a lot. Mr. Nevin, how are you, sir? We're just chilling over here. Big chilling. Fine, brother. Shit with this market. Yeah, it's a little unpredictable. No one's saying you can't just sit back and watch, though. Market will be here tomorrow and the next day. I've only taken one trade this week, guys. One trade this week. I'm up just shy of 4R. You don't need higher frequency. You just need a good plan. A good plan and one good trade. I need to get a better camera. Big time. This one just doesn't look, this one's not cutting it, you know? If anyone has any recommendations for a camera, please let a brother know. I am very interested in getting a new camera because this 1080p webcam is just not, it's not cutting it for me. We're seeing a pretty nice move off of here. I honestly think this AM low is cooked. Might not be today, but like, I just don't see a reason for it not to be. You know? Now that we have this hourly breaker, I just don't have a way in. Like this expansion, if you do this, if you do one of these, expansion, consolidation, typically, obviously after consolidation, another expansion occurs, and it's usually in the same kind of amount of distance. You can see the -1. So that would be basically the same distance of this expansion mirrored, takes you down to AM low. That happens a lot. Typically, the first expansion after the consolidation, the second expansion is the same size, same I guess, distance as the first expansion. That's just kind of market symmetry, measured moves, if you will. Please get SMT added. Previous 4-hour close is bullish, but I'd like SMT at AMLO. Yeah, I honestly, I think they all run it. I want to see this get bloody, to be fair. But if we do get some AMLO SMT and we get a nice breaker, can't ignore it because these relative equal highs here, this does look like a consolidation that we can target. So it'd be kind of something like this, right? This is what it would take for me to flip. We'd need like something like that. SMT, maybe some more SMT on the retracement into the breaker. Target those highs. It's kind of like something like that. This is just icing on the cake, this SMT. Something like that. And then have these projections line up with these highs. But if all three melt through, then keep going lower. Keep going lower. Midnight open projections look nice. That they do. -4 takes you right to the daily open. It's got some potential. We are going to be deleting that previous hourly low SMT, which makes AM low the next kind of target for SMT. If YM gets below, it's 1 o'clock low. Pretty nice. Nothing here for me, though, gang. Nothing here for me. Oil is a stuck pig right now. And Q's been actually getting a lot of the volume, a lot of the attention. I might have to kind of bring out the scalping model again for PM sessions here. Which is no different than my high time frame model or my normal model, but it's just using lower time frame entries with kind of lesser SMTs. Do you trade for just extra income or do you want it to be your main source in the future? I'd like it to be able to be a main source, but I don't want it to be my main source, if that makes sense. Like it's a completely like scalable thing. It's one of the most scalable businesses in the world, right? Um, so obviously I want it to get to a point where like it's a stupid amount of money and that takes time. But I don't ever want it to be my main source, meaning like my main reliable source of income, because I don't personally believe that like you should have trading as your main source. I think trading is a very good vehicle to get involved with other business ventures. So allowing you to ramp up investments, allowing you to buy businesses and own businesses and to, use the money from your trading to fuel other business ventures. So while it's not my main source of income right now, meaning it's not my biggest source of income, um, one day I'd like it to be somewhere in the vicinity of it being able to be, but not needing it to be. Are you using double SMT or sequential SMT for your entries, like a higher time frame and a lower time frame? Yeah, it's a confluence. It's not necessary for me. Like regular, just high time from SMT is enough, but the more we get with the proper framework, the better. I don't use the sequential SMT. I think that's like that's a trader day thing. It's just a fancy way of saying it's an SMT with his cycles or session SMT. Yeah, I don't know. SMT is SMT. It's a divergence, no matter what way you slice it. The more SMTs you have, the more confluences you have. It's just a confluence. It ain't got to be complicated. It doesn't need to be complicated to make money with it. Iran's parliament speaker says the ceasefire agreement with the U.S. has been violated. Well, yeah, that ain't new. Sounds like they're pissed. No, it didn't. Some of his stuff is too confusing for me, like PSP, etc. Yeah, he's just fucking putting lipstick on a pig, man. He's just adding names to already discovered stuff. Like a PSP, what does it have? A protected swing point? Is that what it is? Like to me, a protected swing point is just a high with liquidity SMT and a breaker. Protected swing point. It's just a protected high or low. How you choose your protected highs and lows is up to you, but for me, it's just I need those three things: liquidity, SMT, and a breaker. And then obviously like a preferred swing point, right? So like go back to your T trades swing points where you have like you have a 4 hour swing here. 4 hour swing sweeps that previous 4 hour high, fails to close above it, closes bearish. There's your 4 hour swing. You also have an hourly swing. This 8 a.m. candle failed to close above the 5 a.m. high. That's another swing. And it's also accompanied by SMT, liquidity, and a breaker. People just like naming stuff, you know? Precision swing point. Yeah, I don't know. You lost me. You lost me with it. Some guys use it. Some guys use it. I know a few, but I mean, I'm just so I could be ignorant to it, but I don't need it, so I don't need to focus on it. Sure, it's not a bad concept, but too much of a good thing can be a bad thing, right? Whatever kind of turns your crank, that's what you should go with. Whatever makes sense to you, that's what you should go with. Whatever language, whatever language works best with you and whatever, kind of gets that little light bulb going, that's the language in the narrative and concept or context rather that you should stick with. Because there's a million ways to skin a cat in this market, in this game, and You only need to know one. You only need one to work. AM low is fast approaching. And I am sitting here with no positions except my oil calls, which are not even printing that good because I got the shit kicked out of me with spread because I'm a dummy and I market ordered. But I got some time. I got some time. We'll see. They expire April 24th. They expire. It's actually on USO. So I'll just tell you guys about it. So kind of bought down here, bought my calls down here, and it's like a 122, something like that. Yeah, 120, 122. I'm just looking for my strike is 132. So 132. Let's go to coordinates. Sorry, 132. Did I say 122? Yeah, 132. 132. Let's make that nice and bold. Let's add some text on it. April 24th, 132 strike. So I'm looking for us to get up here. This is in the money above here. I'm looking for this to just be one massive manipulation because if you look at CL, that's kind of where the trade is. That's where I'm basing my trade idea off of because USO is just USO just tracks. It's an oil fund that tracks crude futures. So if you look, we left these like extremely clean. I don't know why I have. I'm fucking stupid. That's what's wrong. I'm stupid. Go on your CL chart, buddy. There you go. We've got these equal highs. Equal highs at 118.76. This looks like a manipulation. I could see us just kind of the same thing that happened here on Monday, March 23rd. I could see that just ripping back, right? It's obviously a geopolitical move. It's like a geopolitical play, so it does carry a lot of risk and a lot of inherent risk, but if it works, great. If it doesn't, then I mean it's very small amount of money. It's not that bad. Okay, we are now getting back. We're getting even closer to that AM session low. So this will be one of those sessions where we get the draw right, but there's just no getaway van. There's no way to get involved. It's just that's sometimes the hard part. Do you guys struggle with that too? Do you guys my camera is one of those. That's almost worse. That's better. How do you guys handle getting the draw right but not getting an entry? It annoys you more than a loss. So what happens? So what happens? What do you guys do when that occurs? Do you flip out and start chasing, or do you just like sit with that anger and annoyance and just like move on, or how do you handle it? How do you handle it versus how do you want to handle it? You know? Yeah, you just got to get up and leave. But say you can't do that. Say you're me. right? And you're dedicated to the charts for this specific period of time, right? You have to, and like you have to face that demon. How do you manage it? I mean, I know how I manage it, but I want to hear your guys' take too. Because it is a very hard part of trading. It's an extremely hard component, and missing trades can be a very frustrating thing. Nobody's got it. So I'm sure someone's typing. Appreciate that you got the draw and direction right, so try and spin it into a positive. Yeah, I'm still learning, but it's mostly leaving the charts. It has to be harder for you because you are dedicated to read the charts. Some days I can take it, depends on what happened before. I have tilted on those things before. Now I try to just accept it and move on to the next. Usually I will try to find a new draw on liquidity, and I have none. I'm done for the day. The demons, though, I think I can still try and get S&T breaker, etc., and ignore still leading a draw on liquidity. Yeah. So a bunch of different answers, right? Like the the question that you have to just go back to every time is like, is my model present? Yes or no? For me, I look at this and I'm like, okay, I see this move, I see this draw, it's clean. We traded up into this hourly, we traded up into this hourly breaker. That's 122 point stop. Can't afford that. Okay, let's look more closely here. Drop down to maybe the 5. Okay, is there any sort of breaker here confirmed on the 5-minute before this SMT formed? No. Okay, nothing there. What about the 5-minute or the 3-minute or the 1-minute? There's no breaker there either. Like the breaker didn't confirm until the move already happened or began happening. Okay, good. Yeah, there's nothing here for me. The only thing, like you could have probably shorted up here. I probably could have shorted up here and had a 100-point stop, and I would have been on for like 1 micro. But like for an afternoon session trade, it's just I wasn't even able to trade that yet, I don't think, because I wasn't at the charts until here. So like, yeah, there's just nothing here. And you just have to, yes or no, is your model present for this move? If no, you don't care. It doesn't matter, right? Because that's not your edge. You're not meant to be in this move, right? You're going to miss moves all the time, right? I'm sure 90% of people miss this move, right? If your model's not present, it does not matter, right? And that's just having that very strong commitment to your model and your edge and vowing to never deviate. So I say this all the time, right? You're gonna get those urges, you're gonna get those demons that say like, "Oh, just take the trade. You know where it's going. Just take the trade." Blah 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 blah. Like that that basically just like gives you permission to do it again and again and again. You have to nip it in the butt, and you have to just have a commitment to your model and your process, and anything outside of it is noise, and it doesn't matter, right? Because the more that you just fight that urge to chase, which I'm sure a lot of you are feeling, you want to chase this move to AM low because shorts are so obvious. Yes, this low, like there's a very good chance that this low gets cooked. Very good chance. But that's not conducive to good trading. That's only one part of it, right? You need your framework. So you have to ignore it. And if the more that you ignore it, the less noise and the less, weight that urge will have on you in the future, right? There's traders who are extremely successful, make millions of dollars a year in P&L, and they still get those urges, but their urges aren't acted on, and their urges are a lot quieter and they carry a lot less weight than someone who isn't as profitable or isn't as experienced, right? So those demons will never stop knocking on that door, but instead of it being like this, it's going to be like just a quiet little tap, just letting you know it's there, You can say, I see you, but I don't need to listen to you. It's kind of like that. So my urge gets, your urge just kind of shrinks over time. I hope that makes sense. That's the way I see it. That's the way I've been shaped and kind of like molded into like making sure that I don't be a dickhead. Yeah, well, yeah, the urge is the hardest part. And you know what? It's very simple, but it's not easy. It's very simple to ignore that urge. It's just don't do it. Just close the charts. Don't push the button. Turn your mouse off. Throw it out the window. Do whatever. It's very easy, but it's very simple, but it's not easy, right? Because you kind of get that ego starts chattering. You get that mental chatter with your ego. And he's like, if you don't take this, you're a loser. You're a loser. You knew where it was going and you didn't capitalize, blah, 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 blah. Everyone's gonna think you're stupid. Like it's crazy what you can tell yourself and what you can talk yourself into. But the ego is a terrible trader. You want no part of your ego to be involved in your trading. One click trade isn't enough, but what I have to start treating the trades as bullets or expenses. Yeah, a trade is no light action. Like putting a trade on and risking money, it's no light action, right? It's it's a very small portion of your time in the market. So like don't take it lightly. I tend to try to force a trade more so when I feel invincible. I feel like I can read markets so well and could still take a trade without having everything present. Yep, 100%. And that's the market will humble you. Thanks for the stream. I need this more than signals, bro. Hey, I'm happy that you're enjoying yourself. This is usually how the PM's been. It's usually me chopping it up and bullshitting you guys, bullshitting with you guys, just about some regular, trader stuff that you can't talk about with your friends or your partner or whatever. It's important stuff. Important stuff. So I hope you guys are taking something away from it. You gonna be on any AM streams soon, Bray? Yes, sir. Tomorrow and Friday, I'm streaming AM. Yeah, y'all know what is 100% hit rate? Hitting the like button. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, like the stream. I'd really appreciate it. It's like just like a little tap on the shoulder, let me know I'm doing a good job. That's all. I think this can be good for us when we are bored is to talk about this stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Like I could sit in here and I could probably like find scalps for you guys, but like that's not you're not gonna learn nothing. I'm not gonna learn nothing. I'm not gonna it's not my job. My job isn't to like come in here and like find you guys trades or find myself trades. It's to it's to strictly adhere to my process and do my job. And a lot of it, I mean, if I wasn't truth like to be so fucking honest with you guys, if I wasn't streaming right now, I wouldn't be in the market. I wouldn't be looking at this chart. I'd be like I'd be doing something else, you know? So, but I do like chatting about this stuff with you guys. I can't lie. I cannot lie. But yeah, I'll be streaming tomorrow morning and Friday morning. Let me get the schedule. See what time I'm on. Actually, I can tell you. Look at Discord. So tomorrow I'll be on at 8 a.m. Eastern. Alex will be joining me at 9 a.m. Eastern. And then, oh, I'm on 8 a.m. Eastern both days. Both days. So Thursday, Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll be on. So we get to trade CPI together. Fun fact, I kind of like trading red folder news if my model shows up. A lot of you guys are going to think I'm fucking nuts, but I kind of like trading red folder news. Very specific framework, and it's scary to do. I don't know if I'll do it yet or not. So it's usually something I need to really lock in for, and it's tough to stream while doing it, but we'll see. Bray is my hero. No, you're my hero, Mario. You are my hero, sir. How are you doing? How you doing, boss man? Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for hanging out. Yeah, Bradley knows what's up. Bradley knows what's up. Red folder has almost become irrelevant these days. It's wild. Nah, man, you're not kidding. Non-farm payroll? Never heard of her. CPI? Meh. Bunch of bogus. Doesn't matter. Inflation? Who gives a shit? Some old man bullshitting jargon on Twitter? Woo-hoo-hoo! Hold on to your socks. This is the modern market. Just the way it is. Market doesn't give a shit about inflation or employment numbers or anything for that matter that has to do with economic data. It just doesn't. It's got bigger fish to fry, like war. What's that shit? What's that? What's that meme? Fuck, I have to find it now. Yes, yes. It's like here, hang on. I'm gonna nobody okay, nope. Nobody rat on me because I'm gonna share a little screenshot. Being horny is a feminine trait. Why are you, as a man, thinking of boobs? You should be thinking of war. That's the market right now. Nobody rat on me. Nobody. Shh. No clips. No clips. You should be thinking of war. Or have Pakistan say something that apparently moves the market too. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, man. Shit's crazy. Crazy times. It's the world we live in. It's the world we live in, boys and girls. Why are you, as a man, thinking of boobs? You should be thinking of war. I'm very interested to see what the Asia session and overnight session brings. Very interested. That seems to be when everything happens. We may be kind of creating a high to then take out this low. Caught my piece of this down move, locking out my accounts for today. Good stuff, Zaza. Smart move. That's a disciplined, experienced trader decision. Good for you. Good for you. I'm proud of you. Very curious if it opens low or opens high. Could be telling. Yeah, exactly. We might set this. We might set this high here. Gold has deleted the Trump spike, which kind of tells me it's a BS ceasefire. Let me see that. Oh yeah, you're right. It has, hasn't it? Did gold have as big of a gold had a pretty big move off of that too? Yeah. I mean, I think it could be a BS ceasefire. Like I really do think it's it's got potential for a lot of gaps. You know, things could change. Things could get pretty dicey. Here's some more news, I guess. Iran has told mediators it will be limiting the number of ships crossing the Strait of Hormuz to around 12 per day and impose tolls under the ceasefire. This is a sharp reversal from last night's statements from President Trump claiming a complete opening of the Strait of Hormuz. Today, just 4 ships have passed through the strait, the fewest of any day in April so far. The US is still pushing publicly for a free and open strait, but Iran is not showing a willingness to loosen its grip. Oil prices are back above 95 a barrel. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Got consecutive candle SMT down here with YM. 1 hour low. No breaker. So you close above this 1452 high, but I'm good on that. Now you've got some 15-minute high SMT inside of the fair value gap with ES. YM. Not a fair value gap on either, but there is a fair value gap on NQ. I think I'd wait for the 15-minute candle to then form a swing high. And then you can run lower. Kind of like new candle, open, high, low, close, and then kind of get the same deal. $50-minute SMT with 15-second breaker at 1500. Look at all those 15s in there. How random is that? Free money market is fractal, and if you miss, then you suck. Buy my course, thanks. Yeah. You're funny. You're funny, Bradley. Buy his course. Guys in nowhere. Guys in nowhere. Yeah, I saw the 15s. I was like, damn. Okay, new 15-minute candle. Dare we say TP at the 15-minute civvy? I mean, shit. If you're into that. Cheers, Bray. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. See you later, Robert. Thank you for tuning in, brother. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow bright and early. We'll chillax for a little longer, though, gang. You got me for a little longer. Where's that 15-minute from I got? Appear yet? Don't want that to get tagged. We want that SMT to maintain. Let's take YM Devil's Mark and hit discount, then back down. What time frame is that Devil's Mark on, bud? On the 5? Oh, yeah, I see it. I see what you mean. Have you been training still for runs? Yeah, I have been. I got some wicked shin splints right now, though, so I'm not running as much, which sucks. But once I get those healed up, I got less than a month to my marathon. So hoping I can get to full, feeling like 90% by then. So I've just been kind of taking it easy, riding the bike. Went for a little run today, and things are still not 100%. So, but I'm in good enough shape that I can afford a few days off to rest. This could just continue to drop. Who says not? There wouldn't be any sort of trade for me on it, but I think this AM low. This is just an engineered low. This guy right here. There's no SMT. No breaker on the 15, nothing like that. I think this low here is cooked. Both these. Does anybody know if I can like change the color of this this demonstration tool? If I can change it to like a gray or a green or an orange. Orange would be cool. Anyone know? I don't think so. I think it's just red. It's nice to draw with. Or like if I can make it thinner, you know? If I can make it thinner, then I can do better demonstrations. Dang, heal up quick. You'll get it. You'll get it. I'm in physical therapy because I have a herniated disc, was going too hard on the mats and BJJ. Damn, that's tough. Hopefully you start to feel better too, brother. We're just a couple of band-aids now, hey? You and me. We're getting old, Felice. We're getting old, man. We're getting old. Never used it? Yeah, don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so either. It sucks. That stinks. I'd like to be able to change it. Go to settings, canvas, crosshair. Settings, canvas, crosshair. That's just crosshair. Hmm. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, the dot, like this red dot. I want that to be a different color, like an orange or green. So I can, and like be able to like make these demonstration lines thinner. See you in the AM, big dog. See you later, Mario. Enjoy your night, bro. Attenuation's lower. Off of that 15-minute SMT. No breaker, though. Pretty sure you can, but no idea how. If you find out, let me know. Let me know for sure. Yikes. Tired boy. What's USO up to? Okay, we're getting somewhere on USO. Sucks that I had to pay a lot of spread. We're almost basically break even. If we can get back up to like the high 130s by end of the week, I'll be a happy camper. I'll be holding throughout the weekend. See if I can make a little bit of money just on one contract. Just dabbling with options. Little dibble dabble here and there. What I need to do is set up a personal futures account. I just need to find a broker. Because I can't use NinjaTrader. I don't think I can use AMP without a bunch of hoops to jump through. Optimus Futures and interactive brokers, I can for sure go with. I have an account with them already, but their margin requirements are fucking crazy. I need like 2 grand to be able to trade one micro, which I'd like to trade. I'd like to, and that's just intraday. I'd like to have a little more margin than that. Um, Optimus Futures, I have one with them too. Their margin requirements are more similar to Ninja and AMP, and I've heard good things, so I might go with them. But I've been just trading personal options and my funded account. That's what I've been rocking. Funded trading with Tradeify. Let's see. What are you guys up to this evening? You guys getting up to anything cool? Doing anything cool? I I don't even have like an idea for you guys. If we don't get any SMT at this AM low, I think we just continue lower down into projections of the hourly breaker and midnight open projections, which take you down into these gaps in the daily open of Tuesday. If we do get some SMT in and around here, either at the AM low or the all taken, they form some like previous hourly low SMT or some shit like that, or like we get something during London or Asia. Um, that could be a thing for higher, but I want to see us go lower personally. Just because I find that the ceasefire is a crock of crap. So does anyone have any questions from today? Does anyone want to talk about a specific trade or a specific signature or like something that they're struggling with? Now I'll be going for a walk though, sunny day. Oh man. You know what? It fucking snowed here today. I'm so over winter. Or I'm so over this like delayed spring. Our weather has been so temperamental. Today, -2 feels like -9 Celsius. And snow. Tomorrow, +5. Friday, +11. Saturday, +14. Sunday, 10 to 15 millimeters of rain. Next week, we're supposed to get snow. Like, I'm over this. It's almost May. Like, it's by next week, it'll be like we'll be halfway through the month and like still not warm temperatures. So I'm quite over this BS weather. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't have a lot more for you, so we can do a little review of the session. If you have any questions, feel free. I want to answer questions. I want to help you guys. Oh wow, yeah, oh wow. Our weather sucks. I love Canada, but dude, this weather is depressing. Like lower sooner or later for sure. Yeah. I think a lot of it is just gonna be on the heels of this whole ceasefire crap. I love standard deviations. Any more observations about them that you can share? I keep them very simple. So I use majority of my standard deviations are just pulled from breaker blocks. So this hourly breaker, for example, swing high, swing low, higher high. I take from the high swing high of the manipulation to the low before the manipulation occurred. I use that as my projection. That's my standard deviation target, my standard deviation projection, right? You can also do the wick. You can measure the wick. So I use midnight opening price, the weekly opening price, and digital opening price for my anchoring. You can also use like 4-hour candles, hourly candles, the 9:30 open. You can use a ton of them, right? Any sort of key opening time or key opening price, you can anchor. So I mentioned the midnight opening price. You can measure the high of the day to the midnight opening price, and that's essentially measuring the wick of the true day open. And then projections take you there too. So I use that as well. I don't just use manipulations from a breaker, I use manipulations above an opening price, right? Because if a day is deemed to be, or if I anticipate anything above an opening price of a bearish day to be manipulation, then why wouldn't I measure the wick to the open and project that for expansion? So that's kind of how I use it. Well, there's a lot of ways you could use it. You could really like eat your heart out and like go crazy with it and like refer to like um if 2.5 standard deviations gets closed through on your time frame of choice, like if you have a 15-minute standard deviation and you get a 15-minute closure, below -2.5 standard deviations, then -4 is a likely target. So like, for example, let's pull this 15-minute breaker from the morning. Swing low, swing high manipulation. That swept liquidity, right? Very important that it sweeps liquidity. Use that breaker. We close below -2.5, -2, -2.5, close below that zone. That makes -4 a likely target. You also have what's called, like, you can use like a silver bullet zone, which is I don't use it. That's Dexter stuff. Silver bullet zone is kind of like a -1 to -1.5 standard deviations is typically like a retracement zone. So like if I pull up if I get a -1.5 here. So like kind of this zone between -1 and -1.5 is kind of like your silver bullet zone. That's where retracements can occur for further expansion. You can see where we retrace to. But you could also use that and you could say, okay, well, OTE is also kind of the same thing. Where like you retrace into OTE for max retracement for further expansion, which it did there too. So it's really personal preference. I don't use that personally, but I mean, that's something that I used to use. So there's a couple of tidbits of standard deviation info. Nothing to be credited to me. It's all Trader Dexter stuff, but I use my standard deviations very simply. He's better at it than I am. So I'll give my flowers to him. I'd also take note of breakers that hit -2, and then we get SMT at that breaker to then go target -4. Yes, sir. That is a very good point as well. Well, I am coming for that devil's mark now. Yep. Yeah, we're going to get some 30-minute high SMT. Nothing for me to do, but there's that 30-minute high SMT. Yes. And Q failed to take that high, swept this short-term high, taking its own form of liquidity. Price is that 888.5, 873. Interesting. So let's keep that in mind. Mm. 30-minute SMT and QES would be nice here. Yeah, we currently have it, but there's nothing here. Nothing here currently. No breaker in there, nothing. God damn. Thanks for checking, Zaza. Gonna hop off. Thank you, Bray. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. See you later, Felice. Have a good day, bro. Enjoy your walk. There's the SMT deleted. Nothing there for us either. Not too much going on here. You may retrace back up into these gaps here. Maybe keep an eye out for this 1430 high while NQ trades into this 1445 high, which is a fair value gap on the 15 and the 30. Actually, we're already in the 30. Hmm. Vice President Vance is speaking, saying Iranians are promising to open the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, bullshit. Iranians thought the ceasefire included Lebanon, and it just didn't. Also, bullshit. It was literally in their 10-point thing. Israelis have offered to check themselves in Lebanon. Okay, probably won't. There have been talks between Israel and the US today. Okay. Israelis are trying to set us up for success in negotiations on Iran. Sure they are, because they're actively bombing Beirut today. Seeing signs the strait is starting to reopen. Okay. On the day that they've had the least amount of passages through in the entire month of April so far. Iranians have to take the next step where Trump has options to go back to war. The more Iran wants to give us, the more Iran will get out of negotiations. If they break bargain, they will see serious consequences. Iranians should come to the table earnestly. If they break bargain, they will see serious consequences. Oh, you said that already. Strait of Hormuz has been fully closed, forcing oil tankers to turn back. There it is. This is the fucking roadmap that we're being given. The amount of horse shit that's being spewed by the Trump administration is actually comical. Makes it very hard to navigate. Who would have guessed it? Not me. Not me. Just run these lows on the close. Kind of don't hate them. But closure below there. Get some SMT inside of the 15-minute for value gap still. Might give it a little whirl. I might do that. Yeah, like 2 micros, nothing crazy. If it forms. Just a little scalp to the AM low and then some. Closure below this low is imperative. It would be light risk. It wouldn't be full risk. ES hit discount. What do you mean? You mean premium? My fucking what kind of gap up is that? My shit cooked? Oops, not okay. That's just weird. It's a weird gap there. No closure. I just run that high again. If it does, then we're just sitting tight. No confirmation. No scalps. Unless it's setting a whole new breaker, which can honestly happen as well. But this candle bothers me because I know it's not like that. It's supposed to look like this. I don't know why my NQ continuous chart is just ugly like that. Long to 25,039 could work. You don't have high time frame on your side. Obviously it can, but it's just not worth it whatsoever. I'd just be doing nothing. I might cut it here, boys and girls. We might just see, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing. I'm not going to sit here and trade the last, 13 minutes before volume dies. I got not much to talk about either. So I think we're going to close it here, guys, unless you guys have some questions. But you've had plenty of chance to to ask, so I assume you guys are all good. But I'll be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern. Please tune in, my PM people. I know you guys are my regulars. I appreciate it. So if you guys wouldn't mind showing up tomorrow, we can talk through some of the AM session. I'll be with you guys for the AM session with Alex. Maybe Kane will join too. But tomorrow we have core PCE price index and GDP at 8:30. So we got some news tomorrow. It could be fun. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for tuning in for another afternoon session. Talked a lot about some psychology and whatnot. So if you missed that part, please go back and watch it. There's some good little gems in there talking about trading psychology and whatnot. But yeah, I've been enjoying these. I hope you guys have too. Before you leave, if you don't mind, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you don't miss a stream. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. So let's see what happens overnight. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. And yeah, take care. Have a good night. Bye bye.